Live streaming is on.
Greetings and welcome to Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter and I will be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts. And if you are watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of that so that you can watch the live and also come into the after party, which to be attendee of the after party, you have to be a registered member of Stunthangar Forum. And here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about flying and building model airplanes. We talk about competing and sport flying and repairing and modifying. We talk about model airplanes in general. Now, to join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Sunset, Mary, and Foxtrot. Now, you must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address, or Sparky. The proprietor of Stunthangar will not approve you. Now, if you're inclined to not come in but just enjoy watching this on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. Please enter your questions or comments in the chat box, and I'll do my best to make your comments a part of the show. Now, you have to understand that sometimes we get into conversations that I can't get a word in myself, so be patient. I will get to your question or comment, and I'll ask our illustrious panel what you stated. So now, if you find this Stunthangar Video Hangouts or the many building videos that Sparky does enjoyable and interesting, informative, please give us a thumbs up. That's when you hit the thumbs up on the YouTube side. I call it a like, and that helps the channel grow. Also, subscribe. And when you subscribe, hit the notification bell and make sure you get all notifications so that when Sparky or myself comes on, you'll be notified and you can come on in. Now, we also have a YouTube membership or a subscription. It's only $4.99 to start. We have higher levels if you want to. We have a thing called the Big Tipper, which is more than that. But to start, it's the minimum $4.99 a month. Now, just as a note, when you subscribe to the channel, you're not going to be incurring any more money or anything. So just, please consider subscribing. And also, I want to also encourage you to donate on the super chat. Down below the chat box, you'll see a big $sign. And that way you're not required to do something every month, monthly. It's not a monthly subscription, but just please donate. That helps us. That helps Sparky offset some of the costs and expenses of running Stunthangar and even doing this. So we appreciate your present, your past, and future support. Please support this. We need your help. We're a small hobby in a sense, and I wanted to grow and let people know about this fun hobby that you actually feel the airplane when it's flying. I really don't think there's anything else like flying control line planes. And we're trying to make sure that people find out about it and do it before it goes away, like the 8-track tapes. If you remember or ever heard of an 8-track tape, they went away. So without any further ado, I'm going to hit the link on the Stunthangar forum. Let me get to that. Let me find that. Let's see. Here we go. All right. I have a couple of monitors. If you see me moving around, that's what I'm doing. I actually have 2 monitors, so it's posted. All right, so hopefully we will have some guests come in and some regular usual suspects hopefully will come in. Like I said, we do this every Monday and Friday evening, and it's a lot of fun. It's a blast. I enjoy doing this immensely. So far we have 8 people watching, and we have 4 thumbs up or 4 likes. Thank you very much. We're at 50% off the bat. That's great. And Mike Lonke says, thumbs up, buddy. Thank you very much, Mike. Appreciate that. I was thinking about you earlier, as a matter of fact. Thank you very much, Mike. I appreciate that. Now we're up to 10. All right, so people are beginning to be watching. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate. It's my pleasure to take the comments in the chat box and bring them into the panel, and we talk about that. And so, who was it? I don't know. Someone said that the only dumb question is one that's not asked. Um, what we do is a lot of fun, but it's really not. Once you know how to fly, and then once you learn how to do the stunt pattern, that's kind of where it really begins. It's like it takes you a while to learn the stunt pattern. We actually have a sanctioned order of maneuvers, and that's what I call the stunt pattern. But there are people who just fly. They just go out there and just do loops and fly upside down and do figure eights, and they have probably as much fun as anybody else. But people like myself, who are competitors, we actually have to do the same exact maneuvers in the same exact order, and we get judged by the shapes, sizes, and the tops and bottoms of the maneuvers and the intersections. There's a criteria that the judges on. And what I was trying to say earlier is that you can maybe learn the pattern in a little time. It varies from person to person, but then it takes the rest of your life trying to perfect it. And I don't think anyone's ever perfected it. I don't think there's ever flown a perfect pattern, but we all shoot for that. And that's what I find so enjoyable about this hobby is that, and I enjoy being judged. I enjoy the excitement, the anxiousness, the maybe nervousness. The nervousness is kind of going away. I think I might be nervous, but then once the plane rolls out, probably a couple of feet or 2 feet, the nervousness for me goes away. When I first started, I was nervous, far into the stunt pattern before I actually let me let Mike in. Oh no, Mike, I'm having a hard time. This happened to Gary, and it's also happened to Lynn. So if you're listening, I'm going to reject you. Just go ahead and come back in. I don't know what's up with it's either YouTube or it is the space that I'm using. Someone coming in. Hey, Mike. Hey, Mike, how's it going? You're in here, Mike. I see you. I don't know if you hear me or not, but I'm talking to you. Hey, Mike, how are you doing? We hear you. Let me let Gary in. Hey, Mike clicked out. Hey, Gary.
Hi.
Hey, you just came in. I don't know. Did you knock out Mike? When you came in, Mike went away.
Oh, well, I saw someone over there.
Yeah, here's Mike again. There we go. All righty. Hey, Mike. All right, you hear me. Fantastic. So how you guys doing?
Oh. Doing well.
All right.
How's that rain there, Mike?
We got a bunch.
I know, that's good here.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Luckily, I live in a subdivision that's pretty hilly, and we don't have a sewer system. We got a series of culverts and ditches in our front yards, to move the water, and a couple of retention ponds here in the sub. But at one time, I had 11 inches of water going over my driveway in the ditch. I mean, it was almost a foot tall. But it all got in and out of here as fast as it came. Couple of bouts of hail, which it was only dime size, so didn't do any damage to the vehicles or anything. Most of it was north of us in Nashville. Had quite a few friends with flooded basements and things like that. But yeah, it was like the big flood of 2010 that Nashville got. We got a big one 11 years ago, and it was very similar to that. But we survived. The truck's okay. I was out there putting blankets on the hood and on the roof of my truck because I was like, hail's coming. Oh no, can't have that. But and I can't put my truck in the other garage because my powered paraglider is in there and my motorcycle's in there. If I got those things out, I could hide the truck. And of course, I can't put it in the airplane shop here because too many airplanes, so it won't fit in here either. But we got through it okay, no damage, and we're all good. Thank you for asking. And Gary, while I'm thinking about it, hey, everybody raise your hand if you got your Gary Sinclair calendar today. I did.
Oh, you did? Okay, good.
Nobody else got one? Yet? All right. Well, Gary, even though I'm a slacker and a loser and I did not send you any photographs, I want to thank you for pulling those images of Sam off the internet and making him the October pinup. Thank you very much for doing that. The pictures look great, and thank you for including Sam. That was very nice.
Yeah, I got that off the AMA site.
Yeah, the calendar looks great too. It looks awesome. You did a good job as usual.
Fantastic. Well, let me say hi to Mark and Eddie and Bob Hunt. Thanks for coming in, you guys. I really appreciate it. I see you're in your shop, huh, Mark? That's awesome. You're out of the bed and in the shop.
Yeah. I'm at the table. So getting a little bit of work done today, and had a long physical therapy thing this morning. They tried to kill me, but yeah.
Hey guys, I'm going to mute my mic because I'm working and hanging an engine and stuff. So I'll be.
I appreciate that, Mike. Thank you very much.
I'm hanging an engine on that Tudor 2 ARF that I assembled over the winter, getting that ready to go.
Very nice.
Yeah, everything around the knee now, all the muscles are starting to wake up, and it's a pretty brutal surgery. I guess I didn't research it a lot beforehand, but after going through it, I figured it out. Yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear you're doing well. That's awesome.
Yeah, coming along. I think Tryon was going to come over last weekend, but it just, the weather is just one of those things we just didn't quite make it over.
So anyways, Gary, Jeff Riley, he says, hello, Stunt Hangar, and thanks to Gary for the calendar pages. So I guess he got that.
He got his.
So that's great. And then Tom Rammel says, I gave you my like. I think we are old enough to remember 8-track tapes. Yeah, I was talking about the hobby and to help us expand, the knowledge of what we do, and people can find out about it before it disappears like the 8-track tape players. So.
Right.
I got a funny story about 8-track tapes.
All right.
In 1980, Wendy Arnowski and I went to the Nationals together. That was the first time he came back to flying after a long layoff, and he came back and built a big sweeper. And we went out in his Chevy van or Ford van, I forgot what it was, big black van, one of the ones decked out in the back with the rugs up the walls and everything. And the only thing he had an 8-track tape player on board, and the only tape he had was Fiddler on the Roof. We were singing at the top of our lungs, Tradition, all the way out back, and that's where the name of his airplane, Tradition, came from. Was from that trip.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, how many hours was you listening to that same 8-track tape?
Way too many.
All right.
But you have it memorized now, right?
Oh yeah, how about it? Heavy,
Still to this day.
It's heavy and the whole routine. I think it was 10 and a half hours out and 10 and a half hours back.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was Wilmington, Ohio we went to. And that was also, if anybody remembers the alligators, does anybody remember the alligator stunt newses?
I've seen one or two of them. Yes.
Yeah, Wendy was the editor, and there was alligators in the margins. And the reason there was, on that trip, we stopped to get gas at a gas station, and we found these little alligator heads on a stick, and you have a little trigger. You can pull the trigger.
The mouth.
And the alligator's mouth would open and close. And it became his alter ego. He bought several of them, and he became the alligator and talked through the alligator like a ventriloquist the whole week. And that's where the alligator thing came from.
Wow. Very interesting.
Yeah, that was good.
I emailed Wendy Arnowski about a month ago, told him, come on back and hang out. We wouldn't have to fly airplanes, just come out and hang out, and on the call. He said, that sounds interesting, So hopefully maybe one of these days he'll, or maybe he's listening right now. We don't know who's in the audience. We never see them.
He's pretty big back into motorcycles. We raced motorcycles together back in late 60s, early 70s, and he's back into motorcycling pretty heavy. So,
You know how old his grandson is, by chance?
Jules, or is that his name? Jules, I think.
That sounds familiar.
I don't know how old he. I don't know how old he is. I would think by now he's probably 10 or 12. You know.
See, I'm just hoping that his grandson, looking in the Spitfire room, would just go, Grandpa, let's just go fly, and get him back into it. That's what my hope is. I'm thinking that as a grandparent, you'd want to go fly with your grandson. So I'm hoping that's what's going to happen. I hope.
What do you think? What do you think is more likely for a kid today? To see a model airplane and want to go fly, or to see a motorcycle and want to go ride?
Yeah.
Well,
I know, but those airplanes are pretty beautiful. That Spitfire, I've never been there, but I imagine the Spitfire room is pretty amazing.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's a tough question because I'm sure his bikes are pretty also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think probably if it's on the iPad, they could just sit at home and do neither.
Right.
Yeah, hey, you know what? I have 3 kids and they're not interested. I'd have to pay them to come out to the field with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I built my daughter's airplanes, and one of them flew 3 or 4 times and decided this ain't that hard. Never got her to go back again. The other one took her half a dozen flights to get it. Once she got it, she got it. But then she lost interest and discovered boys. Now she's got a son who's about 5, and he wants to learn to fly. So now it's all about, Daddy, can you build Silas an airplane? I said, honey, I've got airplanes on the wall. When he's old enough to fly them, we'll get him out there. So we'll get it.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, that's what we got to reach this younger generation somehow. I know we've tried. I've heard of events where they've had several hundred kids go through, and don't have hardly any return on it. So I don't understand, because when I was a kid, if I heard a gas-powered motor in an airplane, I went running on my bicycle to see what was going on.
Yeah,
That was me. That's how I got into it, the sound.
Yeah, but kids today have a different reality. We had our reality, they have theirs, and they're entitled to it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They're sitting there at a computer screen waiting for their minds to come back, as Joe Walsh said. And that's what they want to do. And they're not going to sit down and spend hundreds of hours learning to build a model airplane, and certainly not an analog model airplane. And they're just not going to do it. I mean, you might get a few, like Sam, who the kid of existing modelers, and hopefully some grandkids too. Grandfathers can get some grandkids out. But it's never going to be what it was in the 50s and 60s.
No, I agree with you, Bob, and I can only think of 2 reasons why Sam is so enamored with it. The first one is we limit his internet time to an hour a day on his Chromebook and Minecraft and Roblox. And the second thing is we do not own a video game system in this home.
Yeah,
We have no Xbox, no PlayStation, no Genesis, no nothing.
Well, I got a Genesis.
Yeah, but so that's a big distraction, and that's a big time sucker. Now he does play a few video games on his Chromebook and on the desktop and stuff.
Yeah.
But again, he gets an hour a day,
Yeah,
maybe a little longer on the weekends. But we don't have one in the bonus room where he's just for 12 hours nonstop. So,
and it's ironic because of video games, kids have such good reflexes and eye-hand coordination. They would make exceptional model airplane flyers, and the ones who do try it pick it up so fast.
Yeah.
On top of the walkway.
Yeah.
Kind of a double-edged sword thing.
Yeah, it is. It is. I told Sam if he wants an Xbox, he can buy one with his own money, but I'm not providing it. I'll buy him all the airplanes in the world, but I'm not plunking down money on an Xbox. If he wants one, he can buy it with his own money. But even then, I would put the same time constrictions on it that we do on internet usage and Chromebook usage.
Yeah, that's smart.
It's a tool and a toy. It's not a lifestyle.
Yeah, but as a rule, we're not going to hold back the tide, from the average kid.
No, you're not. You're not.
I've decided not to lament about it and worry about it. I'm just going to enjoy what's left of it.
Yes, exactly. I'm going to enjoy it too. It's like too bad for you.
They're not making buggy whips anymore either, so.
Hey, anybody ever had one of these 2-2s? I just
Yeah,
know
I have one.
there's no weight box on these things. I thought they had a weight box on them. Do you know if they come with pre-installed tip weight?
I guess.
I'm trying to remember. You know, I think I modified mine, Mike, and I added tip weight, put a tip weight box in mine.
Well, I haven't done anything to this, and it's dropping pretty hardcore.
A weight box. Is that like a cubicle where you sit and until it's your turn to fly? Is that a weight box?
Yeah. Bob, you know what a weight box is. Quit messing with me. I mean, I'm guessing it's got weight pre-installed because look how fast it drops.
I think you're right, Mike.
But I mean, you didn't have to put the tips on it or anything, so there's no way to know what's in there. But I guess I'll just fly it and see what happens.
I think you'll enjoy it. I guess
the downside is you can't take any out.
Yeah.
Because you can't get to it. Well, I guess you could add to the other side if it was too much.
Was that a kit, or did you get them built?
No, that's an ARF. That's a ARF.
Has anyone ever had an airplane where you had to add inboard tip weight?
Yes.
Not yet.
Yet.
I have.
I've seen 2 of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got beat by oh my gosh, what's his name? Anyway, a fellow flying Derek Berry's father. Dadgum, I can't.
Dale.
Anyway, Dale Berry. Dale Berry came to Charlotte, Huntersville, and he was flying an All-American Senior of all the planes.
Wow.
All-American Senior, and he had a wad of clay on the inboard leading edge.
Yeah.
He said otherwise the darn thing would chase him when it took off. So I thought that'd make it worse. He said it cured it. Don't know why, but it cured it. He said, I'm not arguing. I'm going to fly it.
Yeah,
and he beat me with the darn thing.
Schaefer had one where he had to put inboard tip weight on it. Matter of fact, it was on the stunt machine.
Wow.
Hey, Charles.
Yeah, Mike.
Let me ask you this. Do you remember where that thing balanced? Because I don't think I have the instruction book for it anymore either.
I don't. No, I have one.
All-American?
No, he's talking about the Tudor 2.
The Tudor 2 ARF.
Hey, Walter.
How you doing?
Hi, Howard.
Hi.
And hi, Peter.
Wow.
Thanks for coming in, you guys.
It's good to see you.
Hey, Mike.
And thanks, Phil, for coming in.
Yeah.
Sure.
And Tryan, thanks for coming in, Tryan.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing
Cool.
well.
Eddie, when you get a second,
Eddie's got it.
look up the balance point for me and just shout it out real quick, okay? Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
I got one question. Howard.
Yeah.
How in the world do you build anything in that shop? It's too neat.
Yeah. He's not building anything.
I mean, you never see any dust in his shop. Bob's shop, you at least once in a while see a little dust, something out of place.
Well, remember, he has a laser cutter and he's got a 3D printer, so there's really not much dust, you know.
Okay. All right. Well, I tell you what, I'm in awe of your shop because mine looks nothing like that.
All right.
That is nice, Howard.
Well, thank you.
All right, Mike, you ready?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening.
Says here the CG range is 2 3/4 to 3 3/8 from the leading edge. Recommended starting at 3 inches back from the leading edge of the wing at the fuselage. This is the midpoint of the CG range specified. So you just start at 3 inches and go forward or back. I don't know. That's all it says.
Thank you, Eddie. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Do you have one?
Yeah.
Bill?
Flies like a dream.
Okay. Okay.
I got a LA-46 on it.
Yeah, that's what I just hung on this one. All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. You guys, Brent Williams on the chat box. He says, "Hi guys," or "Hey." He said, "Hey,
Brent.
Hey guys." Hey Brent. Back to
Brent, how are you?
Not a howdy, just a hey.
Hey.
Where'd Bill
Yeah.
Wright go? Walter, you got to come back, brother. I can't razz you if you're not here.
Walter's still here. Is this his camera's
Brent, I got a message for Brent. He was trying
There
to
he
get
is.
in touch. He was trying to get in touch.
Sorry, I was hitting buttons.
No problem.
Oh, I've done that.
Sorry, Bob. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Okay, Brent was trying to get in touch with me for a while there, and I never did get in touch with him. So, Brent, if you want, call me now.
Santa Claus, why is your picture off?
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
Is that
Big John looks like Santa Claus at Christmas.
Oh, respect.
Walt Umlin there?
Yeah.
That's Walter Owen.
Not if I'm in trouble.
No, no.
No,
Hey, Walt, I'm Mike. We
respect.
spoke on the phone a few times. I bought a socket Toomey kit from you. You discussed the building it with me, and then most recently, when I found the that scale biplane kit of Marshall Busby's, I called and reached out to you.
Which one was that?
It was, gosh, I'd have to go back and look through my phone, but it was, you only made 20 of them. It was.
Oh, you're talking about the CR32.
The CR32, and I put you in touch with Tony Busby, or I gave Tony your info to contact you because you said you'd kind of like to have that kit since you lost yours. Did anything ever pan out with that? Were you able to obtain that kit from Tony, or?
No, my wife beat me senseless and told me we need the money right now.
Oh, okay, okay.
So it was bad timing. It was what, like around February?
Yeah, yeah.
It might have been when my computer broke. By the way, guys, I'm on the new computer. It came early.
All
right.
Good. You got a great picture.
That's just because I'm pretty.
Well, let me ask you this, Walt.
Man.
Let me ask you this. If you really want that kit, and I was able to get it from Tony, would we be able to maybe do some horse trading for one of your other fine kits, possibly?
As long as the values are somewhere.
Right. Yeah. That's what I meant. I mean, Tony wants $100 for the kit. That's what he wants for the kit. So if I picked up the kit, would that get me $100 credit towards something that you already have?
We can talk.
Okay. We'll do that.
I'm always up for negotiation.
Okay. Well, I'd hate for you to miss out on it, because you said.
The funny thing is, I can make the kit.
I understand. Yeah, I understand.
It's Anyway, would anybody be interested in an old Berkeley Guardian?
No.
I have
No.
one. Somebody
It's
wants
a
one.
flapless stunt plane.
Nope.
Bob's shaking his head. He knows the plane, don't
Oh yeah, sure enough, plane. Yeah,
Is it a piece of garbage or is it nice?
I think it had flaps.
I thought it didn't.
I'm pretty sure it did. Billy Werewolf had one, believe it or not.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think it had flaps. Matter of fact, I saw it in his museum.
Oh, I have one in the garage, not the museum, but I got one in. It's not museum quality, but.
Well, that's what we used to call where Billy kept all his airplanes. It was called the museum. We called it the man in his museum. It was just a spare bedroom where it had everything, like 30 airplanes stacked up. One on top of
Okay.
the other. The Guardian was there though. It's a nice airplane. Have you ever seen Joe Reinhardt's? Joe
No.
Reinhardt built one, not out of the Guardian kit, but he built one. And it's probably one of the most perfectly built model airplanes I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
Beautiful. The guy's some builder.
I've been wanting to build. I took it in on a very expensive trade. No, I did really. I went through this period where I was really trying very hard to get some collector's kits, and some guy tells me he didn't use the word museum quality, but he was like, on a scale of 1 to 10, this is like a 9.5. And I'm thinking, okay. Oh, but the guy wants one of your kits. So I actually traded him a $250 kit for this plane. When I got it, it was not museum. I mean, it was not a 9.5.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, it's not a piece of junk either. Okay, from what I saw,
9.5 out of 10 though.
well, it might have been a 9.5 out of 15. You know, I mean, no, really, it's in good shape. The only thing I think that was wrong was the canopy was pushed. There was like a little flat spot where the box pushed the canopy and held it for so many years.
Hmm.
You know, but anyway, I just was wondering.
Let me interrupt you guys. Brent Williams, this is to you, Bob. He says, I'll call you this week sometime. And I want to say hello to Carl and Jim. You guys, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah. Walt, got a question for you right quick.
Okay.
On a Bearcat or any of the Al-Rabi planes, on the landing gear, those little clips, little steel clips with 3 holes in it that the landing gear goes in. Do you make those, or do you know somebody who does?
No, before Al died, and when I took over making those from Kyle, I was instructed that I am not to try to make those things. That there was a guy, a friend of theirs, that actually machined these little tiny parts, and also machined, I guess it was back plates for the Mustang, you know, back plates for the spinner. But the guy passed away, which is kind of, and Al passed away, and Kyle has nothing to do with it anymore. So basically, whoever can make them, you know, get a little piece of steel and make them.
Was that guy Carlos Alois?
No, it was. I don't know if the name Dirk is the right name. I can hold on a minute.
Because Carlos used to do a lot of machining for Al.
Okay. Give me a second, guys.
Not a problem. That's not important, you know.
Yeah, no, I know. I want to.
While you're doing that, Walter, hey, John, thanks for coming in, John Miller.
Yeah, tried to come in from the shop but all I had out there with the computer was my laptop, and just wasn't getting on Wi-Fi. It just wasn't getting good enough signal. So came back into the computer. Computer is junk room.
So, Jim, are you trying to show us something, Jim? I can make your screen big. I don't know. What are you up to?
Yeah, I was going to show
He's up to no good.
Trey and John something on the comment. I made a little more progress on it.
Look at that.
Okay.
Okay, so John and Trey, I got your Kevlar hinges in. You move all right?
That's cool.
Yeah, looks good.
And what I did is I cut them out, cut the X-Acto slots in there, and then I put them in with 3M type. I haven't even broke them in yet. But also, can you see the inside okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, John, you see how that bell crank is working now?
Yeah.
Okay, so everything is 90. It'd be a lot better in a bigger model where you don't have to use the micro stuff. And I just put in my wires for the rocket in the back. And then I wanted to show you this here. Can you see this guide?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
What I did on this guide is I took some of the cable that it's like an eye rod. I showed it to you before.
The yellow
cable inside, and so I made this little thing where I can slide it where I want it. I slit this thing here so I could get the wire inside. I didn't want to have to redo the clips. So now they'll just go wherever you want them. And there's one over here too, and you can space your line spacing however you want it. Okay.
That's cool.
So I just epoxied it on, and then I'm working on a little, super fill here. And one thing I can tell you that I try to learn something new every day. I learned something new yesterday about superfill. I don't know if you guys knew this or not. I learned it from Sparky. Superfill, particularly the hardener, it has some kind of agent in it. And if you don't take these superfill canisters, for those that might not know what superfill is, these are your superfills. This is the particle stuff. And then, let's see, can we see it? Yep.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. And then this is your hardener. Well, about once a month, you need to take these,
Turn them over,
and turn them upside down. Otherwise, you get all the crap ends up in one end, and it won't stay. It's particularly true of the hardener. I don't know that it really matters a whole lot on the other one. So I've been doing that. It looks a lot better. So
Thank
that's
you for the
about
tip, Jim. I need to do that. I didn't know that, so I'll turn mine over when the show's
I'll
over.
go do that too.
I go in the garage and turn mine over.
Yeah, about once a month is what Sparky said.
Pretty neat.
Also for tray-in, let me switch my camera around.
Hey, many apologies. I didn't hear a thing. I was just interrupted.
Okay. Oh, well. Oh, you were just interrupted.
Yeah, just when you start to show you said you got the hinges. You got the Kevlar.
Yes, I've got them in there, so let me show them.
You know, as a matter of fact, I can watch this later on, or no big deal.
Yeah, they just go like this. I did them just like you did, and I put them in with Type Bomb 3 into the phone. That was all.
Got the job done, right?
Got the job done.
Yeah, simple.
And I was also going to tell you that our friends at the place where we get the unidirectional carbon, that was quite the fiasco, let me tell you. I went and they have a message thing there. So I put the message part and I messaged them and I asked them about the VAT. Of course, the VAT doesn't matter. That's a euro pound thing.
Yeah, I get it.
So I asked the guy what kind of quantity I could order. So he said, well, you can order any size quantity you want. And I said, oh, okay, well, cool. That's what Trey thought. So I did an order for like 3 sheets of the size and I paid it with PayPal, and then I saw that PayPal was actually charging me about $1,500.
Whoa!
What?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Is that yen or is that U.S. dollars?
Must be really good carbon.
Yeah, it was 1,000 pounds or something like that, but it converts to about $1,500.
Oh my God.
So I got back on the message thing, and they were nice about it, but it was just like I read on there. If it's the shipping, that's the deal, and the export. If you don't order at least $300 worth of material, then they have to do all this export paperwork. And if you order 300, they'll include the export paperwork in it. If you order less than $300, then they're going to charge you $1,000.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Well, Jim, I can tell you that the pound to dollar is $1.38. And I know that because today I ordered a Sport Jet Dynajet kit from Dick Hart in the UK. And it's 100 pounds, which is 138 US dollars. So,
well, I'll either look more on their site until I can look where it looks like I might need, $300 worth or something, and then I'll.
Well, it's that business model. Maybe I'll stay in business.
You know what, Jim? I'm really sorry about this. It didn't happen to me. I ordered what I needed.
It's a new policy.
They gave me a paper that I was supposed to fill in for them. What am I going to use it for and stuff like that? And that was the end of it. I paid whatever I owed.
Yeah, the manager came back on and sent me an email, and he said it was a new policy they had because they got a lot of small orders. And it was a lot of work to do all the export paperwork. So you either had to order $300 worth, or they were going to charge you.
I didn't know that, man.
But whatever.
Seriously, I didn't do that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, it's all right. They
Well, you-
refunded it right away. I mean, but and then I have to wait 4 or 5 days though before it'll get into PayPal, and then a couple more days before it gets back in my bank. So.
Yeah.
Brennan, was your order more than $300?
I should have ordered more than $300.
No, I'm asking Trannon.
No,
Try
it
and
was pretty
make the order.
small. It
Jim
was
made
not
the
that big.
order.
No, I ordered like $15 worth, or $50, or something like that.
Okay. Maybe you do,
You just got a meter of that stuff?
What's that?
You just got 1 meter of that stuff?
No, I got 9 meters.
9 meters.
Yeah, it was 15 something per
A meter. Yeah.
Yeah, by a meter square, and I got 3 of those squares.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes on a continuous roll. So
Yeah.
I needed it to be long enough to.
I wonder how many people in here would want to have some and pitch in, We ship it to them.
Yeah, I'm gonna check with the guys local here, but it is really nice stuff. That's for
I'll
sure.
take a 5 meters off of you if you want to do that.
You'll do
I'll
5
take
meters?
5.
Yep.
I'll take 5.
You'll take 5 meters? Okay, we're getting closer.
Yeah. So how many meters do you need to get to 300?
A bunch of them. That'd be 60.
Quite a few.
It'd be 60. 60 people, 5 meters apiece.
No, not true.
No. I'm talking about the.
No, money, not meters, not 300 meters, Phil. $300 worth.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Merchandise.
Misunderstood.
Well, it might be pounds. So,
Yeah.
but I think he was talking pounds, but I'll email him back and make sure we got the right amount.
Yeah, probably why.
Tag on some more for me. I'll take it.
Probably because of the Brexit thing.
Yeah,
That's the only reason I can think of it, that it's gone that crazy.
Britain and the euro and all that. Well, that's the VAT. This has nothing to do with VAT.
No, that's not bad. Yeah.
No,
It has something to do with Brexit. It has to be.
no, it really doesn't. That's they'll charge a VAT fee, but it's between British people and or this guy who's in England and anybody in Europe. They're going to get zapped a VAT fee.
So to
But
straighten it out, did you actually order $300 worth?
Yeah, that's a minimum order, or else they're going to charge you $1,000.
Right. So did you actually buy it already now to straighten that out?
No, I got my money back.
Oh.
I said, you guys are out of your mind.
Yeah.
I said,
See, that's like when I was buying leather fillets. Okay. I ended up having to buy a bunch of it just to get a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I just started offering it to people that wanted it. And then I couldn't keep up with it. Bob, what do you think of leather fillets? Dennis, what do you think of leather fillets? I don't know who else might know about them.
Me?
Leather fillets.
You asking me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Billy Simons he swore by them. He used them all the time. The only problem he had was occasionally some of the lanolin in the hide would come through the dope finish. You get a little stain in the fillet. but I think he got to a point where he would stand them and then clear them, and then he did something to treat them where we wouldn't get that. But he used them all the time. He loved them. He had
Yeah, I
tool,
started using
there was
them.
a little tool that he had to press them in. You know.
Yeah, I got all the tools,
Yeah.
all 4 of them.
Yeah. No, they work good.
So Jim Smith, how much would 5 meters cost? And I would like to get some of that unidirectional carbon myself.
Me too.
I think it was about $15.46 pounds or something like that.
For 5 meters?
Yeah, no, for 1 meter.
Can't you just get it through Aerospace Composite Products out in California?
Well, I probably could, but
of course it's
I don't know what it looks like.
They probably charge you 10 times more too.
No, they're pretty reasonable, actually.
Okay.
Well, I'll have to check them out.
And there's another one called CST. They actually have the same kind of stuff. You know.
Oh, CST, it's a robbery.
Well,
So when we have airplanes go through London, we put that on.
Well, I know I don't want sewn edges. Because some of the stuff you buy, you know, it has the sewn edge. So I don't know. I have to check those sites out. See what they got. Because I don't know offhand.
Okay.
But I do know that these guys are really good in England. That's for sure.
What stuff is it you're talking about?
It's unidirectional carbon.
Oh, okay.
It's a mat, and you use it. You know, you can use it down your fuselage side. You use it to reinforce wings. You know, it's handy stuff. And it might be better to order from the U.S. I don't know, but
Maybe probably cheaper.
Yeah, Aerospace Composite Products has all that stuff. They have it, you know, any kind of shapes or sizes or anything you want. I mean, and it's reasonably priced. Certainly not going to cost you $1,000.
well, this doesn't really cost $1,000. You just have to order it the right way.
Yeah, well,
I get stuff from Aerospace Composite Products all the time, and they've been very good, you know, very good price-wise.
Does it have a nice weave to it?
I'm sorry?
The weave, is the weave good?
Yeah, they're used in. They actually have they're government contractors. They sell to the government. So.
Yeah, I've heard of them before. It's just like CST.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was CST. They had some, but it had the edges sewn, which we don't want that.
I would probably opt for Aerospace Composite Products. You know, and the guy who runs Aerospace Composite Products is the next national stunt champion.
Who's that?
Justin Spar. He was the junior champion in '92.
Huh. In '92. That was before I started going.
How in the world do you remember all this stuff?
Well, I just know Justin and his family, Barbara and George Spar, and I guess George and Barbara now are somebody retired, and they handed it off to their kids. And Justin is now the CEO, I think, of the place. So.
Well,
he's a good kid. He did a matter of fact, the
check it
loading
out.
that I sell for the electric mounts, they were doing on a 2-axis CNC machine out of G10, and they did a great job. It was very reasonable.
What do you think a square meter costs, Bob? Any idea?
I don't know. You'd have to go online. If somebody can go online and just look up their catalog, you can find whatever you want. You know?
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll do a little more comparison checking, and then if I decide to order from the guy from England, I'll let you guys know. We can order some that way, or if
let me know.
ACP looks good. They're out your way, I think, Charles. Aren't they out in California somewhere?
I think so. I've ordered some carbon rods from them before.
Yeah, they're in.
They're in Central California.
So, well, you know, we'll see how it goes.
Sounds good. Hey, Denny, thanks for coming in tonight. Appreciate you coming in.
No problem. Did you do my prayer request Friday? So Remember I told you about my party? We had a birthday party for my granddaughter. She's 13 years old. We had a party. We had like 30 people over, family and everything like that. But that was the easy part. The next part was the sleepover for the 13-year-olds. And I was talking to Charles earlier that day, and I says, I'm not going to make the hangout, but tell the guys, please pray for me, okay?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Well, that's all right. What the heck? I made a big deal out of it, but they're good kids and everything like that. We had a good old time. She was happy, and she's still talking to her grandparents, so I guess all is well. So,
all right, you got your calendar, John, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, John got a calendar, Gary.
All right.
Good.
So how'd you handle having a house full of squirrels running around?
That's it. Well, it got the weather had been really nice, and then it turned cold again, so there was no chance of kicking them outside or anything like that. So we were stuck with, everybody on top of each other. And it was funny. Saturday morning, after everybody left, my wife and I, we were sweeping up after the elephants. So, but even nothing got broke or anything like that. So all in all, it was just a really good time.
Carbon fiber UniWeb, 725 per foot, 12 inches width, 2.9 ounces, 725 per foot, 12-inch width.
795 a square foot is what they're telling you.
Yes, 725 per square foot comes in with 12 inches, and the lightest weight, which is a 2.9 ounces, 725 per foot.
What
Per
about
foot? That's a lot of money. I mean, we're talking 1 square meter here for $19.
Yeah, okay,
That's,
so
9 square feet.
So if you want 3 feet of it, I mean, it's $22. I mean, but it all depends on how much you want, because if you have to turn around and put in a $1,500 order, you're going to be putting in a $1,500 order whether you want that much or not.
Well, the thing is, he can put in a $300 order, and that's all it's going to take. So whatever it takes at their price to come up with $300.
And is that $300 shipped, or is shipping now on top of it?
Where'd Jim go?
It's on top of that, but I think there's a lot of confusion on math tonight.
I haven't said one word about math.
No, well, I heard what Jim said. He needs to get it down to $300, over $300, to avoid the excess shipping fees.
Yeah.
Right.
The excess cost.
The excess.
I just sent a set of plans to Brazil, and it cost me $19. No, $21.
Was that
for one set of
rolled-
plans to Brazil?
Rolled or folded?
It was actually folded, Bob.
Yeah.
That's like crazy.
Yeah. Check out the.
It was what, $21, right?
Try to send
21 bucks.
If you try to send them rolled, it's a whole lot more money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I sent some plans to the Ukraine, and I checked to see how much it would cost rolled, and it was an astronomical amount of money. So I sent them folded. It was still a lot of money.
I just can't get that.
Like $50 or something to send them a tube.
So the
Yeah,
next
that's
time I
why-
go to London, I should be looking for this stuff, huh?
Yeah, that'd be great when you're in London. Just get an order for it.
I've got a couple of pilots in London now, actually. I wonder if they could just grab it and send it. I mean,
Hey, what was the weight on that? That was like what, Trey? In like 1,000?
It's very light. It's very light. 100 grams per square meter. It's 4 ounces for 1 square meter. So 4 ounces times whatever you buy.
Yeah. Well, they had some designation on it. I knew which one, but I'll have to look.
That'd be 5 meters would be 20 ounces, basically.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get a little more info on my end. I'll go check out the ACP stuff, and try to see if it's comparable or not.
You know, the best offer you've had there is to take them up on some pilots bringing it back.
I'll call them tomorrow and see. I'll call them and see if they're still there. We have airplanes go in and out of there quite a lot, so I don't know if. Yeah, I'm sure they could go down to DHL or whatever. I don't know if once they get to DHL, they're gonna try to hook them for whatever it is. But you know, with that kind of stuff, you could fold it up and put a magazine, put it in between the pages of a magazine, and send it. You know.
Hey, Trey.
Yes,
You
sir.
know that those little circuit boards you were talking about the other night, you had the mini and the larger one. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah. What about them?
Can you send me an email and spell the name of that thing?
Circuit boards for what? Timers?
Well, it was like you could program one to do what Howard's sending me a couple of his with the light.
Yeah, it's like a special board you named Tryon, like
those boards. Yeah.
Arduino or
some Arduino or something like that.
It's Arduino. It's for Arduino.
Yeah, Arduino.
Yeah, if you go in Arduino, you can find all kind of boards, different sizes, different parameters. What I'm playing with right now it's actually this one here. It's this little gizmo here, this little guy.
Okay.
And this is a CL.
Just send me
Arduino.
an email spelling that. I'll go find it.
Yep.
I don't want to use it. Howard's sending me a couple from my Igor Burger timer. And Howard, just let me know whatever I owe you, and I'll be happy to pay.
You owe me your mailing address.
I already sent it to you.
Oh, you did? Okay, good.
Okay. I have this discharger, and I think you can use one of those boards to shut off the pipe. I'll show you what it looks like. I had it all set up the other night.
This thing I'm sending is just an enunciation. Do you want are you talking about the touch?
Nah, you ain't got to worry about what I'm talking about, Howard. I want what you're sending. This is for something else.
Do you want more than one?
I need two of them, Howard.
Two. Okay. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I put it in the email for you.
Okay. I'll whip out another one.
Okay.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
Jim, I got the spelling for you. Tom Rammel applied it.
Well, I don't have anything to write with. You know my email, Charles?
I don't think so.
It's Stunt Flying, STUN.
Hang on, let me get a pencil. Hang on.
I'm getting
Hey,
it.
STUN.
STUNT, Stunt
Right.
Flying, FLYN @gmail.com.
Okay, so there's no G in the flying, just FLYIN.
No I.
No I.
Stunt FLYN.
Okay.
Pronounced Stunt Flying
At Gmail.
@gmail.com.
Okay.
And let me show you what I'm talking about here.
Now he's going to get harassed around the world. He's got everybody's got his email.
I forgot we was live, Jim.
He's got it on his web. He's got it on all his products anyway.
It's all, I don't care who has my email address. I just block it if I want.
He makes a fine little handle kit.
I got so much stuff. It's ridiculous.
Well, we got some dead air here. I just want to thank Gary for his hard work on this. This is really a nice little calendar.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. Okay.
Calendar?
So this is
I'm
the
still waiting.
discharger that Wayne and I use. He has one like it. I made mine out of big old thick wood. Just be careful. And then it's wrapped, it has metal foil inside. And these are 50-watt quartz lights. And the way it works, you guys will love it. I'm sure most of you have seen these little battery checkers. Well,
Right.
I don't know if you know it or not, but on the back, right here at the bottom, is a little button. And when you plug it in, you can hit that button and it'll let you set the low voltage of what you want before these two loud ass alarms come on. Okay? So if I have a battery that I have not used.
Is that a technical term, Jim? Loud ass? A technical term, loud ass?
Yeah, you're gonna find out. Okay, so here's a battery, 6S Thunder Power. It's already been discharged, so we're gonna get the alarm when I plug that in. So this is just a Dean's plug. I got 2. 3 of these 50 amps will give you about 6 minutes of discharge. This is about like flying. So it'll take about 6 minutes or so to take a fully charged battery down to the floor. So we'll plug this in.
About the same as a flight.
Yeah, about the same as a flight.
Holy crap.
That's one side. One side.
Jesus, you just relit up the Eiffel Tower.
I'm telling you, this thing don't mess around. Oh, shit. All right, and then when you put this crazy sucker in, it powers up. I may have to power it up first. But y'all have to bear with me a minute. All right, there's my good.
There's that loud ass noise.
Yep, that would be the noise. That's what it sounds like when it goes off. So as soon as it hits, I had it set at 3.7.
That's an LAN.
So as soon as it goes off, you got to come get your battery off because it'll just sit there and discharge it. It'll not be good for your battery. So what I want that board for is I want to put a board in between here so that when this little checker hits 3.7 or whatever it's set at, that it will shut off the power to the light bulb. Okay, the alarm's still go on.
There exist these boards. They come from China. They're cheap.
Yeah, those little boards are cheap. That's what everybody was saying.
Yeah. Have you seen it? I can go fetch one.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
You said that if you don't pull it off when that noise goes off, it'll keep discharging.
Yeah, because
don't you want it to discharge it all the way down?
No,
Just a
no, that's what I'm talking about.
Storage
voltage. Something that'll turn the lights off.
I can't hear you completely.
This will turn the lights off. Let's see if I.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want it to turn the lights off. Oh, well, look at Howard.
Hey, Bob.
Oh, yeah, but you got those ones. Oh, I see what you did.
Ask Mama.
That's Mama?
Yeah, she said I could sample over there.
Okay.
This is the one that you're going to get all the blinking lights, right, Howard?
No, this is the circuit that turns off your discharge lights when you reach preset voltage.
Yes, but one of the things I found with those, I ordered one of those things right off the internet, and had all the cables and everything. And what would happen is that as it was discharging, the bulbs would blink. And that's because it's limited by that little blue box. And it takes forever to discharge one with that.
Oh, you get extra modules and you can discharge them pretty rapidly. You can daisy chain the modules now.
Ah. Okay, well, I'll have to check
Let's
that
see.
out.
Here's the extra module right here.
Oh, I see.
Hey, I was going to let everybody know tonight, and you're showing this discharger. Jim, you told us about RC juice for batteries.
Yeah.
If you go on there, Toolkit RC makes this thing that says M6 DC battery charger workstation. It's $29.99. It's a battery checker, cell checker, servo checker, some kind of S-bus input, output, variable amp, a volt DC power supply.
Right.
And it will discharge in the recycle mode at 150 watts.
Okay. But from a practical standpoint, when you put it on discharge, the storage voltage, how long does it take for that to get the storage voltage?
I don't know. At 150 watts, I mean, it wouldn't take very
You
long.
said 150 volts.
No, 100. It'll discharge at 150 watts, 10 amps.
10 amps.
Yeah, this is.
Each of these bulbs is 50 amps. And it takes about
50 watts.
minutes.
They're 50 watts. Yeah, these modules come with 3 50-watt bulbs, so they discharge at 150 watts. I've got 4 of them, so it discharges at 600 watts. It's pretty quick.
How long do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. You figure it out.
It's in the fridge, Sam.
Depends on how many batteries you got and how far you're going. Volts times amps is watts.
Sam.
Yeah.
Fridge ride.
All right. Well, I'll check it out.
How much you think you guys got into them dischargers?
I think they're
I
about
got almost nothing into this one.
Yeah.
The cost of the bulb.
$15 a piece, I think, for the 150 watts. There's a thread on Stunt Hangar about 2 years ago, probably started by Fred Underwood, and so we've updated it, and all the information's there, I think. That was a year ago or two.
Well, the other thing they have there is a Sky RC discharger that's on sale right now for $69.99. That'll discharge at 250 watts. And you set in there what you want it to go down to or whatever.
Right. And it automatically shuts off. So.
Yeah, it automatically is LED. It'll do up to a 8-cell LiPo.
Well, this cost me almost nothing. These little charger things, these little guys are about $2 a piece. You can get the bulbs. And these are the open bulbs. But the bulbs I get now, they actually have a reflector and they have a some kind of glass. They have a
But I figured that small for $29. It'll charge your batteries. It'll discharge them. The thing fits in the palm of your hand. It's pretty cool for $30.
These are the bulbs we buy now, and they have a reflector, so you can't touch the bulb. And then this is a piece of glass on top. There's the reflector, and there's the glass, and they are also 50 amps. And this is just a one lamp setup here. So I don't know. Maybe it really doesn't matter, but I don't want to spend my life watching over discharging batteries, even if it takes 6 minutes, because, you know, I try my best when I go to the field not to bring any of them back home. Because after you fly a flight, they're just about at storage cycle, storage voltage anyway. So I figured, you know, just keep adding light bulbs so you get about 5 or 6 minutes, and probably be simulating what the batteries do when you fly. So that was my theory. And these bulbs are pretty cheap.
Steve, what was that thing you were talking about? RC Juice?
Yeah, they're the ones that sell the real light batteries. They have 6S3000.
Well, so far testing on stuff, this thing here will discharge a battery in less than 5 minutes.
That's pretty good.
And down there in Florida, it will keep you cool while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Because I about froze my ass off trying to use it outside here.
Well, I had to run the air conditioner this week.
That would be an FAO instead of, you know, an
It
FAO.
snowed here yesterday on my birthday.
Happy birthday, late, sir.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
You know, I tell everybody about once out of every 6 years it snows on my birthday. And it snowed yesterday, so.
Yeah.
So did you go out and see your shadow, or?
You know, there was no shadow yesterday.
Okay.
That was just bad. Lord.
Yeah, there was. Everybody's like, "What'd you do on your birthday?" I said, "Stayed in the damn house. It's too damn cold to do anything."
Yeah. Ran out and shoveled the walk.
I don't know. It's in the. I'm gonna shut up because I made as much as the temperature has dropped in the last 2 days. If I was saying what the temperature is, it'll end up being 20 degrees colder tomorrow. So I'm gonna hush. But we've been having some decent weather. Not great, but decent. But it's just been so darn windy.
Mm-hmm. I got some work done this week on my twin.
All right.
Good deal.
Yeah, I don't know if you can make this big there. This is the nacelle with the blocks on it, ready for carving.
Wow.
Right,
Oh,
and then
nice.
this is one that's already carved now.
Wow.
I like that one better.
Yeah. I think we all like that one better. Unless you can
work already done.
Very nice. Very
Hey,
nice.
Bob, on something like that,
One thing I do that everybody finds interesting around here is I take the shape of the opening I want, make a piece of 1/32 inch plywood, and I actually glue it right to the block, solid. And then I carve to that and sand. And then I take a drum sander and I open this up to a 1/32 inch wall thickness, and that protects the opening. So you get the shape you want by carving to it, and then you open up the center.
Oh man, that's excellent. Yeah.
So that's a 1/32 piece of plywood.
Mm-hmm.
132.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And you put a little dap on there to fill in the edges and sand it in, but that works pretty well. And I'll take you over to the airplane and show you how nice it fits on the airplane.
All right.
Hey, Bob.
That's a super idea, Bob.
Could you
Call her.
have you tried to make a nacelle round?
Make a what?
Round. So they look like, you know, so you could use that other type of, you know, so the spinner would be smaller than the nacelle and it would go through for cooling.
Yeah, the annular inlet. Yeah, you could just use carve with a spinner, and then you can put a smaller spinner on.
Because I was wondering about that, if you could mold, you know, the outside of the thing and have round ones like that and still be sturdy enough.
You absolutely could. I'm just not that energetic right now to mold. So I carve them. I like carving. I enjoy carving.
Okay, don't wear a mask. Put your what we call phone, wallet, your keys, and right here. All right, I'll be back.
Now, are you going to make the nacelles so they slip off the wing and slide on, Bob, or are they going to be fastened permanent?
No, they'll be attached to the wing permanently. But the way I do it is I don't glue the nacelles onto the wing. I glue the airplane to the nacelle. I put the nacelles on little fixtures that hold them equidistant from each other the way they're supposed to be, the right orientation on a board. And then I have lineup marks. I slide the airplane into the nacelles, and then I line the airplane up, and then I glue it to the nacelle. And that's worked perfectly.
Oh, okay.
I like that.
Yeah, because I was wondering if you could make them, for transportation where you could just take them off.
Okay, with that.
No, really, I would be a lot more weight and everything. I think just gluing them on is probably, faster.
Better way.
Yeah. Another thing you can do with that trick about the 1/32 inch plywood, let's suppose you're carving. Of course, nobody carves anymore. But if you were carving a top block, and you wanted to put a fin onto the top block and have it made up to the top block perfectly, you can put the shape of the base of the fin and glue that or tack glue that onto the top of the block, and then carve to that, and then top that off and use that on the bottom of your fin to get that shape on the fin, and then the fin will fit right on the fuselage as a flat there that fits right onto. And that works well that way too. So, but most people don't carve anymore; they mold. So it's really kind of not being used much.
I've been doing that for years, but oh yeah, you told me about it years ago.
Yeah,
but it don't really count. Oh.
But Charles, check out Juice RC because I know you're looking for a charger.
Yes, yeah.
And since you got to get a charger, that thing will do everything you want.
So it'll charge and discharge, right?
Yeah, plus it's a battery checker and the whole works.
That's Juice. Let me write this down.
Badass Innovated 8 or whatever. They're selling them. They just don't sell that one. They sell one like it up to a 4-cell for the same price, but that Juice RC has them for $29, and it'll do what did I say, up to a 7-cell or 8-cell.
Oh, great! And by the way, Jim, I just emailed you, Jim Smith, the spelling of Arduino, and Tom Ramel said that the small one's called the Arduino Nano.
Okay.
And I put that in the email as well.
Okay.
Hey, Bob Hunt.
Yo.
Hey, man. I'm going to need those SV11 wings like pronto, man, because I just won $500 on a scratch off, man.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Yeah.
You won $500?
$500,
Good
man.
for you.
I'm not even kidding. I scratched the first little bonus thing and it said 50, and then the next bonus said 100, and then I got down here and I got another 50, and I got over here and I got 300.
Wow.
I don't do a lot of these. I buy like $20 or $30 a month. That's it. Just occasionally when I'm gassing up the truck. So I probably just got my money back for 2020.
Yeah.
But it's like a little savings account, right? When you win 2 or 3 or 500, you get it all back at once. So and I'm just kidding about the wings, Bob. I don't really need them that fast.
Hey, Bob, you better get them damn things out tomorrow before he spends that money on some Irish whiskey.
Ah.
He'll be going to find some real old bottle of it.
My wife buys me that stuff, Steve.
I was actually working on Jim Smith's wings today.
So it's the little things sometimes that can make your day, man.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Well, $500 is not a little thing.
Yes, that's not a little thing to me either.
No, me either.
Well, it's
a big thing.
It's 5 nights in the hotel at the Nats. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
almost paid for my Nats week. So
There you go.
Very nice.
there's
Wait a
that.
minute, I thought you were going to pay for your wings with that $500.
You'll get your money, Bob. Don't worry. You'll get your money.
Hey guys, I got to sign off early tonight. I'm having my annual checkup with my new doctor, and he's got me going all over the place. So
Yeah, he's gonna tell you to bend over that table, isn't he?
no, not yet.
And smile.
I did the Cologuard thing. I didn't even have to have the
Keep it
colonoscopy.
clean, Steve. Keep it clean. I'm with you, Jim. I do the bucket myself, man. That's the way to go. I just feel bad for the FedEx guys that have to pick that stuff up and handle it.
No shit.
No,
That's
it
the problem.
is, Steve. It is. Not no, it is.
Well, the problem is if it comes back and it's inconclusive, then you have to do the colonoscopy anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
The
good
only
luck
thing
with
is,
that.
I wasn't talking about the Cologuard deal. They do another test once a year.
Colon.
Pull that and put that finger up. Say bend over.
Yeah.
All right, that's where I gotta go. I gotta go, guys. I got a phone call.
Okay,
Okay.
well, hey, thanks for coming in.
I'll try to come back.
Sounds good.
Okay. Hope you can.
Take care, Walter.
Got a
Good night,
couple
brother.
questions for you.
See you later, Jim.
Good.
Hey, good night, Jim.
All right, gotta go.
Check your
Good night,
emails.
Jim.
I got it
Good
right.
night, Jim.
All right.
Lordy mercy. That was.
I told you about my
That was
big
bad.
fiasco with the scratch-off card, didn't I, Mike?
No.
Oh, I'll relate this not because I enjoy it, but because I show you how stupid you can be. When Wisconsin first started up with the scratch-offs, they came out about the third month. They came out with one where if you got a double, it doubled the amount. But see, I thought you had to get three of the same, and then the double to double it. So I go in, I buy a couple of scratch cards, I scratch it off, and I got one $10,000 one showed up. Scratch the next one, one $10,000 one. Scratch the next one, I got a $5 one. Scratch the next one, I got a double. I threw it away because I didn't know
That's 20 grand.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So if you're going to do those things, read up on the rules.
Yeah, well, it's like I always tell everybody, even if you think you lost, take them in and have them scan them.
I scan them anyway. Yeah.
Just in case that, you messed up.
Yep.
My
I
cousin,
wish I had them.
my cousin goes to the bar, and the bar starts selling scratch-off tickets, and that's the week that Michigan started that. And the top prize was $10,000. So he's there most of the night, and they finally talk him into buying one. And I'll be damned if he won the $10,000. He got the $10,000 ticket because there was one over for the whole state, and he hit it for 10 grand. And that was back when they were only 50 cents to buy a scratch off.
Yeah, they were cheap. Before Charles gets the M&M airplane out, I want to share one more just brief story because it's funny, but it's not funny. A good friend of mine that worked in quality control with me in Michigan, out in Manchester, Michigan, at Pilot Industries. Him and his wife got divorced. Really, really contentious divorce. They've been married for 18 years, had a couple of grown teenage kids. They got divorced, and this is no joke, 2 weeks after their divorce was final, her lottery group, she was part of a group of 10 people in the lottery, hit the Michigan lottery for $34 million, and she got $3.4 million 2 weeks after the ink. I mean, the ink wasn't even dry on his divorce. He missed out on $3.4 million by 2 weeks.
Well, at least that lowered his child support.
No,
it didn't. It didn't.
No, it doesn't.
He didn't get a dime of it, but he's always like, Oh, what could have been? Well, and the 3.4 is really like 1.7 after taxes. It's not,
Yeah.
you can't quit your job and live forever on that. But we called him Schleprock at work. If you remember that cartoon in the 70s, the Schleprock guy who everything he touched just turned to garbage or
Bad luck, Schleprock.
yeah, it all went to crap in his hand. So anyway, all right. Sorry to get off on the lottery thing,
That's all right.
Charles. Didn't
Hey,
mean
Charles.
to.
Well, yeah.
I want to show. I have one here that the opening, that piece of plywood that I put on the nose, and then you open. Yeah, there it is. That's a piece of plywood that was a full piece when I carved to it, and then I opened it up with a drum sander.
Oh, that looks great.
There's got a little plywood piece around there that prevents it from getting dinged up and makes a nice, neat opening.
Bob,
You did that by hand?
Yeah.
Ted Fancher does that too.
Wow.
Hey, Bob,
nice.
what
Wow,
you
Bob.
need to do is tell everybody you made that little ring and glued it on there.
That's what everybody thinks. But I
And then have them try to figure out how they'll be like, damn, is he good? I'm going to have to try that.
Yeah, I'd probably say,
Yeah,
man,
it
that's
looks
kind of
like the
dangerous
little
taking that little ring. I mean, that's too hazardous.
And you did it with a Dremel, Bob? With a Dremel?
Yeah, I did it with a Dremel drum sander.
With the drum set, with the big one or the little one?
What is it, 7/16 diameter or something? Is 3/8 diameter?
You must have very steady hands, man, because I'll tell you, when I get a Dremel in my hand, it usually ain't pretty, man.
Yeah.
Well, he probably roughed it in, then finished it with a round sanding, right?
No, I did it all with the little drum sander on the Dremel.
Wow. Take that back. Excuse me.
Yeah, I about ruined a wing on my airplane. I think I spun a bearing in my Dremel tool. Going along, and all of a sudden that thing's like, the thing's vibrating all over the place.
Oh, no.
I've had lots of accidents with
Keep telling
Dremels.
you guys, don't use Dremel tools. Get that Black & Decker, that orange Black & Decker hand tool. I use them every day, and they last forever. They're just better than Dremel. So.
Well, thanks, Bob. I'll check it out. I've seen them.
Yeah. Give that a shot.
So what are you doing, Mark? What are you working on, Mark?
Today, me and Tryon was on the phone, and he gave me some little tips and stuff about on this build on the profile knobbler. I actually pulled my wingtip off and made a slot for adjustable lead outs.
Right.
Yeah,
looks good, Mark.
which it didn't have before, and I kind of I was trying to figure, okay, how can I do this? How can I do this? But anyway, it's a good exercise. So I'm in the process now of getting everything put back in. So yeah.
Mark, you're sure that's the inboard wing, right?
Yeah,
I'm just asking.
It's the inboard wing now. So
Either that or you're gonna have a really nifty shaped wingtip weight.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly right, Joe.
what airplane is that?
It's a profile nobler.
Okay.
And kind of like I don't know. It's let's see if I can get it turned around here without moving everything around. I got it kind of in upside down. It's
funny looking outrunner on it. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Actually, with this, I was so far along with this one. Like I said, I get really good education with Tryon this week, and I really appreciate him. There's really good education with electrics and batteries and chargers and stuff like that. But I was just so far along with this one that utilize with the stiffeners on and everything. I said, okay, I'll just go ahead and finish this one IC, and then I think we're talking about some other things that he's gonna,
Okay.
we'll come up with another build for an IC.
I got a Mark just for you. I have a little show and tell here. All right.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Let me switch cameras or switch views here. Hang on, Denny.
All right. You recognize that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark and I exchanged a few notes on The Magician. All right.
Yep.
Oh, the magician. All right. I love magicians.
Yeah, this is the Brodak Magician, and it's going to become. I'm working on the conversion kit for it now. So
Oh, wonderful.
that's just started a fuselage, and it's going to get this installed in it.
Wow.
Oops, sorry, I'm sorry. It's actually a more modernized version of this one. Their size but different, but basically this unit is going to end up getting it installed in that fuselage.
Cool.
That'll be hopefully tomorrow. So that's how close we are to having that conversion we talked about a year and a half ago, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, it's been a while ago. Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Well, that's all right. That's good. That's great, though. That's
That looks good, Denny.
Yeah, I think that should be popular actually because it's a pretty easy kit. You know?
Well, it is. I started it yesterday. So.
Oh wow!
So,
Yeah.
So it's all. And last thing I did before I came on is glued the belt crank in. I even modified the mounting a little bit. I'm just obsessive about putting in suspended belt cranks, so I
think
put a second platform in there too. So.
Did you ever finish your Bearcat?
I finished it enough to publish the conversion, and that's it. So it's the bones are up there. So speaking of bones, Charles, remember our conversation the other day? I told you something. We talked about hatches, bolt-on hatches, and
yes, about the SB11.
Okay, if you don't mind, I got a few things here. If I can show you what I'm doing for. I'm doing this for removable wings, but it's similar to what I think you could be doing for a removable hatch on your SB11. Okay?
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, so here we go. This is the previous conversion. All right. This is a smoothie with a bolt-on wing. I've been kind of dreading showing this because, you know, I'm not sure if Tryon is going to laugh or cry when he sees my system. That's all. But, you know, he's got such a neat system for his plugins and everything like that. And this is just a bolt-on. This is just a bolt-on. It's actually based on a system that I learned about from Fred Tellier in Canada, right, way back in the 80s. And I think he based it on things he had learned. He built his first take-apart airplane, took it to Europe, and he had a lot of trouble with the thing being flexible and crooked and everything like that. He had to do a lot of things to get the airplane where it was stable and repeatable and everything like that. So we come up with this. And really the key to it is this. The belt crank bolt, probably easier to see on this side.
All right.
The belt crank is actually mounted on a tube that gets a bolt through the center. All right.
Okay. All right.
And so let's see. Just noticed I haven't even drilled out the bottom planking for this. I'm gonna have to improvise a little here. But basically, so there's the bolt. And the key to that is that, you know, when you cut out a fuselage like this, it isn't very big through the middle. It's prone to flexing, okay?
Right.
Flexes, you know, this way, bending, and it twists and everything like that. So along with the mounts in front of and in back of the wing, you get that bolt through the center, and it really stabilizes the fuselage. Plus, it does a nice job of translating the, you know, the belt crank loads, you know, into the fuselage too. All right, so you don't lose that.
Very good idea.
So there's that. And it gets 2 bolts here, and there's just 440s, 2 there. And then here I actually use the landing gear, the aluminum landing gear, and it mounts on both sides. It's, you know, spans that joint, so the aluminum landing gear actually becomes like a brace for the front mount.
That's a great idea.
Like a strap on there. And system, I don't know. It doesn't add a lot of weight, but certainly, you know, it adds something. But it's pretty painless. The airplane here is turning out pretty light. So now there's one other way that I thought that that's pretty well too. That with the user. Right. this is a Brodak Gypsy, and this one is actually even slimmer through here than what the Smoothie is, and it's a real flexy flyer and everything like that. And I didn't decide to build this as a take apart until after I had all the big pieces made. So I didn't have that tube. I had I had the regular wire axle, if you will, for the bell crank.
Right.
All right. So instead of trying to put it in, through the bell crank, I actually have a tube offset. It just clears the, end of the bell crank and everything like that. But I have my bolt and my tube on the side. But I still catch the bell crank axle in the fuselage. This is for the bolt. This is for the bell crank. All right.
Nice.
And again, the key is to try to translate those loads into the future, or try to get everything to go together. Okay. Yep. So there's one question that comes up is why use two bolts here? And I think my answer is this. I think that if you could probably, from a strength standpoint, one bolt front and back would probably be strong enough to keep it from bending up and down. All right. But I think what I'm talking myself into here is that by putting two here, one bolt is basically a hinge. Two bolts kind of aligns it. And my goal here is to keep the fuselage from snaking.
Right.
All right. All right. And then one more thing, because the bolt connection, is up here and down here, and like the front view, you get that separation gives it a resisting couple to keep the fuselage from twisting.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. So, yeah, five 440 bolts sounds like a lot, but I think that they're relatively small and light and stuff, and they all kind of support each other. So
I knew that David was that smart. I didn't know you were.
Well, he told me how to do it. So.
Hey, Denny.
You're right. Dave is a genius. He's working on his new motor mount idea today, and it's gonna be really, really cool. So
Say hi to Dave for me when you see him, man.
I sure will. Give him a shout. Say hi yourself, man.
Yeah.
So,
he's in your shop?
I'm sorry?
He's in your shop?
Can't hear you. I'm sorry. I've inherited my dad's ears, so.
David, you said David is in your shop?
No, not in the shop. We were talking today on the phone about his new idea, his new mount idea.
Okay.
So basically, it's going to be like this, only on steroids. So, and we're going to make it.
Fill the mount again.
And that was too quick. Too quick.
Too fast.
Too fast.
Yeah, this is the LA-46 mount, and I'm going to incorporate a few new features in it. This is one he made a while back, and he's been doing a lot of printing since he made this, and he's learned a lot of things he can do to make it both stronger and more functional. So we were working on that today, and he's making a new one for it. I'm going to be putting that in one of the other Brodecks and showing it off as a conversion for an airplane that's built for gas, and how you can easily convert it to electric. So,
cool.
Denny.
So is it going to come on a PA type of mount? So it mounts for PAs and all that? If you want to change
it'll be for whatever size you want. All right, he's probably going to lead with something like an LA-46 because there's a lot out there. But frankly, a PA or something like that may be easier because it's a bigger package to work with. Bigger crankcase and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the biggest knock on this thing is an LA-46 is what, an inch and 5/16 crankcase or something like that.
Yeah.
You got to be about a little over an inch and 3/8 with this, and it mounts a 28-26 motor, which is easily a 12-inch prop. So that's like the best LA you ever saw, and so that'll all work. But if you go bigger, to get a 35 millimeter motor in, it's a 42 millimeter casing, and it's just going to be, you have room to log out your mouse that far. So that may end up being the limit. On the other side of it, I think I showed a while back. I showed you guys the OS 35 mount, if you will, and with the small frame motor, and that's a bolt on. But that's the idea, is to see if we can make it easier for people to get the intro to electric modeling by just taking airplanes they have laying on the shelf and converting them over. So,
Guys, I'm gonna call it a night. I'll see y'all later.
See you.
All right,
Eddie.
All right, Eddie.
Eddie.
Denny, years ago.
I want to share with you
Go
guys
ahead.
something, because I've been thinking about this take-apart system, and I think it's so simple to make it, and it's perhaps the easiest to implement of any take-apart systems that I thought of to date. So the idea is
just hang on, Tryon. Hang on 1 second, Tryon. You actually interrupted with what John Miller was trying to say. Let John finish.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That's all right. That's all right. Denny, I was going to relate to you when I was building the first Pathfinder full body. And I wanted to make it take apart wing, but I didn't have the couplage or anything to make it split. So I did it like an RC plane, which is similar to what you did. But I talked with Bob Hunt, who happens to be here, and he may remember this conversation. And we talked about it. He gave me the idea of using an L-shaped cutout in the bulkhead that right behind where the flap hookup was. And what it could do is as I brought it down, I just had to have an L bend in the end of the push rod. I drop it down, and then I could pull the push rod over into that L bend and just drop the whole wing out. When I put it back up, I put it back up in there and pushed it up when it's in that. I put a little wire thing on there so that centrifugal force would rub on that wire, not on a balsa. And it's worked for years. It's really quick, easy disconnect for that kind of a removable wing.
And I honestly don't
yeah, the Gypsy is made that way. Actually, before I did the final install on the bottom block, I installed the push rod just like you described, and then I put the I put a retainer, if you will, along the edge of the bulkhead that would push the push rod and keep it from falling out. Except when you bring the wing all the way down, the push rod falls all the way down, and you can disconnect the push rod. Once you have it in and slide it up, then the bulkhead actually holds the push rod in, and I can do that. I can twist the push rod a half a turn, and so the other side of the bulkhead comes into play. So,
well, there's several different iterations of it, but the one that Bob talked to me about taught me, I guess, has really worked well, and it was so simple.
Yeah,
that Bob's a pretty short guy too, isn't he?
I wish I remembered saying anything like that. I don't remember.
Well, we're all getting older, and
there we go.
Maybe that's the real reason you're retiring, Bob.
Yeah, I think so.
What? CRS?
CRS.
Can't remember
CRS
stuff.
is real, brother.
Can't remember stunt. Yeah.
I can't remember.
No, can't remember stuff.
Okay.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I gotta head out too. I gotta get to bed. Got a long day tomorrow.
All right. Thank you very much.
Bye, Bob. Good night.
Seeing you guys.
Always good to see you, buddy.
Yeah.
Tryon, go ahead and carry on, Tryon. I'm sorry, I was so slow because I was doing something else when you was interrupting John. So sorry for letting you go for a while. Then I cut you off. Go ahead, Tryon.
Hey, no problem. So here's the idea. this is the idea. Okay. This is the lock, right?
Okay.
Okay. So what is lock? It's in this position right here, vertical. If you notice that. So the idea is you plug the wing in, and because the lock is going to be 180 degrees displaced, you're gonna have this this gap here on the bottom, right?
Okay.
So the wing goes in, bam. And now as you rotate the lock, this eccentric in the center, it moves from this end, comes around to this edge here, and it starts to engage this end of the pin, right?
Yeah.
And it pulls the wing in. Ching.
Wow.
Right? So this is going to be just a simple pin with a bearing surface over here, right?
Right.
And this whole thing stays in a block with just two holes, one in one direction, one in the opposite direction.
Right.
That's slick.
And the idea is, I mean, obviously, if you're worried about it slipping out, you can always add a O-ring. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the O-ring we're gonna have interference, and it's gonna stop it from slipping or anything, or do anything like that. So this should be relatively easy to implement. These are the only two parts that you make, and this is just a block that you put on the root of your wing, right?
Right.
Now,
So
to make this, in order to make this stuff work, what would you do is you start to make your rib templates for your wing, right? And you have your, say you build them on rods and they look something like that, right? Then you decide where you want to put your spars and where the assembly points are going to go. Say here, for example, this is for this this cross hole, right? That's for this pin, right?
Okay.
And then what you do, you take the two templates after you do one side, and you have drill all the holes. You flip them over 180 degrees like this, and drill the holes on the other side.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
So now what you're gonna do? Hang on.
Where do you get the pins?
Yeah, somebody will have to make them.
Yeah.
But it's just an idea. I'm presenting an idea, right?
Yeah.
So
Steve, you got that big CNC machine that you can use.
Yeah.
Oh,
So these two pins over here, okay. You can
Right.
also transpose it on a fuselage, right?
Okay.
And then once you transpose this to the fuselage, you can take these templates and drill these holes again on the fuselage. Drill one side, flip them over, drill the other side on the fuselage. So you have like 1, 2, 3, 4 holes in the fuselage. And obviously you can do something for the trailing edge as well. Let's say you put the trailing edge over there, right? And you can transpose all of these holes for mounting. So you have 3 of these blocks on each side of the wing. They're gonna be embedded right here, kind of on a base, wherever the. I'm pretty sure this is gonna be much more compact. This is not a scale 1-to-1 or anything like that. It's gonna be much smaller. But the idea is that when you make your fuselage, all you have to just drill the holes accurately, right? And this guy here can just hold it with a maybe a longer piece of tube that's going to go through the fuselage. Say something like this, from fuselage, from side of the fuselage to the other one, and on the ends of it you have like a bearing surface, which is the same diameter as this guy. Okay, and then you can just thread the inside, something like that. Okay.
So try what material was you thinking about? This cam lock. What material was this stuff? Delrin or aluminum or what?
Aluminum. Yeah, like 75 T6 aluminum, or even titanium or something like that. Titanium, I think, would be the best, but it's kind of expensive. It's hard to find. But I think the 75 T6 aluminum should be readily available. And in all honesty, these pins are really easy to make. These guys here should be pretty easy to make too, you know. So between these two parts are super easy, and the block is the block, you know.
Right.
And then when you build your wings, you build them obviously build the wings in two halves, and you build your fuselage 100%. So it kind of eliminates any kind of flexing and funny business that's over there, right? And you just take your wing, you just plug it in, you take this, put a screwdriver here on the hand, and just you rotate, you lock it, done.
So you think you'd need a like a lathe to make that locking system?
Yeah, you probably need a lathe or something like that. I was thinking about maybe make a kit of this and see if somebody might want it. I mean, I don't know. It's like if people are interested.
Very intriguing.
It's not like you're gonna get rich off of this shit.
That's true, but that looks very intriguing.
But it's simple, you know.
I think there is
very simple,
commercial
very practical.
opportunity. I think there is a commercial opportunity for someone to make some of those building blocks, if you will, the fittings that you need for a take apart airplane. Like, let's see, Tom Morris was making them. I don't know if he still does or not. I don't know if that went over to Oki. I think Howard's system is based on an update of the Morris, but it's not the Morris or anything like that. It's I don't know. It's like everybody, I think, would like to be able to take their airplane apart. Maybe not everybody, lots of people would. And it's just, you start talking about grinding titanium cams and stuff like that, you kind of lose me in the snow on that one. So,
yeah,
but I'd still like to be able to. I absolutely love the system you have worked out on Revolutions. It works, spectacularly well. And I can see where what you've just drawn is like the next logical evolution beyond that. In fact, you could almost incorporate that in the existing airplane, couldn't you?
This one in existing, no. No, because my barrel
off center that you don't have. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because right now what I have here on my existing system, I have the pin that looks something like that. Right, pin threaded right, and my locking mechanism is centered here.
Yeah,
it's like
when my dad had his lathe and his Bridgeport mill, I used to never lack for machine goodies. And now those are both gone, and all of a sudden I'm back to using Newbro line nuts. So,
so this you could do it on a lathe by just getting the stock material and put it in a piece of. Here, let me take a new page, okay?
Yeah.
So the idea is that on a lathe you have the jaws, right? They look something like this at 120 degrees separation between them, usually, right? Something like that is the chuck on a lathe.
That's
so what you do, you put a plate on one side like that.
Yeah.
And now you chuck the piece. So the piece is pushed off the center, right? And now when you cut the barrel is going to be cut in the center of based on this center, right? So it's going to center over here. So you're going to get your eccentric kind of like that. It's going to cut over there. You see that?
Yeah.
That's because you put the plate over here. You put this little plate over here. So that's how you make this, basically, how you make this barrel, right? So just use a grooving tool and you can get this done, right? Use a grooving tool, cut this stuff, put the barrel back in place and just cut the outside groove and cut it to length. Done. You have this, right? And this is just turning.
Right.
Just get a stock material, some bar of the some size, like say 3/16 of an inch. You turn this and you thread it and you just put the shape to it.
Right. Yeah, that part I saw. The other part I didn't know how to make, but
yeah, I think I'm gonna go down to my shop tonight and make a few of them.
This
one? Yeah, I don't.
You guys are just sarcastic.
No. I see it. I see it.
Well, yeah, I see it, but I can see that nobody can do it. But I know that I got 440 bolts and stuff like that to where, I've done take apart wings, on RC stuff. And
Yeah. When I'm looking at the take apart stuff that's done right now, I'm going like holy smokes. I mean, I can't say that word, but
Yeah. Well,
but
obviously,
they are
when you take the wing off, like I just
complicated.
described, it's not this isn't the carry-on luggage type system. This is I can fit 2 airplanes in my compact car system.
Right.
That's about it. It's not made for shipping or anything like that.
I'll tell you.
Yeah. But even
another idea, Dennis, is that a buddy of mine, when we flew pattern, the one thing he always did is that he made aligning holes, and he had pieces of like 440 rod, but I mean not threaded, about that size. And when he got everything aligned on his bench and then bolted it in place or screwed it down, once it was done, he drilled 2 holes in it. So when he put his wing back on, he stuck them aligning pins in, tightened the wing down, and then pulled the pins up.
Yeah.
So
well, that's
always
the exact same idea here, because this is already an alignment pin, right? So if you put this is already an alignment pin. So if you put your holes in the right spot by doing this, every time you're gonna put your wing on, works as a dowel pin as well.
Well, that's the key thing of the take apart, is making sure it goes back together exactly the same way every time.
Right.
Yeah, that's
so
the
he had
idea.
the
So
alignment
that's why I
pins.
said you fit
them
into
in,
the hole.
bolted everything down, pulled them out, and it was aligned every time.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean it's
he
going to
come up
stay
with
there,
that,
Steve.
and everybody could do it.
It doesn't mean it's going to stay there, Steve, because you have winds, stress, and stuff like that. You get a little bit loose, the wind is going to shift.
Yeah,
it will shift.
I've never had.
But that's one reason. That's one reason why I'm using 440 steel bolts instead of 1/4-20 nylon bolts.
Yeah.
Because the nylon bolts will stretch and flex and stuff, and even the RC pattern guys at one point when they were building the projectile style airplanes, they discovered that having 2 dowels at the front flipping the wing into that wasn't enough. The dowels would loosen up over time. The airplane would start taking off on its own and stuff. They started using more bolts because they were repeatable, and then provided that alignment can by virtue of the fact that they were bolts. So yeah, and what Tryan's showing us there is that his current system too, everything is on a pin basically. It can only go together one way, which is part of the beauty of the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, because you have such a nice alignment between all the pins, because you use the templates for everything, right?
Yeah.
Then
you have that. I saw everything pinned. It cannot possibly go. If the pins don't line up, then it won't go together. And if it won't go together, but if it goes together, then it by definition must be lined up. So
yes.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you wanted, you could take a pin like that you remove and slide it in and then fasten it. So it can't come out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but
the
it was
idea
the deal
here is
where
that
he put silicone on the bottom of the fuselage, the frame where the wing goes in. A really thin thing of fuselage used that parting stuff like you use for molds, a mold release. So when the wing went on against that silicone, it couldn't move. It was like sticky. So when he tightened everything down, there was no vibration, all that kind of stuff. And I mean,
yeah, that was a big improvement over using foam tape in the wing saddles and stuff like that. The foam tape would seal it, but it wouldn't align it, and it had no grab to it or anything like that.
Right, and the silicone grabbed. I mean, A lot
Well,
of
it took up any imperfections, so the wing had to go in the same way every time. There was only one place for it to go. So.
right, so. But yeah, I'm trying to still figure out how you take the tail off if you need to take the tail off. But I can do it like Samantha's plane. That works pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see why would you take the tail off when you can just plug in the elevator and call it a day. It's so much simpler.
Yeah, I agree.
But you got to be able to make all
is a
this
better
stuff.
idea.
Actually,
I want to make
most
a
of us
plug-in
can't
tabulator.
do this stuff, and you just can't buy it from McMaster Car.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to come up with ways of doing stuff we can do.
You can always put a carbon fiber tube in there,
If I
put
worked
an
at
ends to
NASA,
it.
I could have them make this stuff out of some exotic metal that was super light and all this. But I don't work at NASA. I don't have a lathe. I don't have a mill. I'm lucky I got enough money to buy the shit.
All you need is a drill press for what I'm saying right now. Because if you would just, if you want to take apart like that, let me tell you how to do it. Right? You go to you go to a Loft Hobbies, and they have carbon fiber tubes over there. They go one inside the other one. They have they're all kind of like 4 to 5 millimeters, 5 to 6 millimeters, and so on and so forth. All you have to do is just put a tube in the elevator, a tube in the other one, put one tube through the center, couple of alignment pins, and now in order to stop the elevator from sliding out, a piece of Scotch tape will get the job done. If if you really want to go there. Or just put at the very ends of the tube, not in the center of it, the ends of the tube, put a little, put a plug of aluminum or something like that in there, and use your drill press at home and just drill a hole, tap it, and you're done. Doesn't take rocket scientists to do that.
I think what
For an elevator.
Steve is saying, Ryan, is that if you're interested in taking something like this on, make the parts and make them available to those of us who would like to use them. Steve, is that what we're talking about?
It's all good ideas, but we can't. I mean, I still think the best idea you had that you ever told me was when you put that together, you said silicone the tail in place and then take a piece of fishing wire or Kevlar, fishing, and cut it back out when you're done. And I'm like, that would be so damn easy. If you had alignment pins, stick them in there, use silicone to hold it in place. And then, when you're at a contest or whatever, now your airplane's together, when you get ready to go home, take a piece of spider wire, zip out the silicone, pull the stuff out. I mean, that was a brilliant idea. And it's like, I wish, I'd have talked to you beforehand, because that would have been so simple.
Yeah.
Wendy's got a video on doing a removable tail. I don't know exactly which one it is, but he goes into details about it.
Basically the same old idea of just taking the tail off, bolting the elevator on it, just remounting the tail on, taking the control horns off, put the controls horns back on, and then you have issues with a one-piece wing. I know, I've seen Windows videos, and it has a one-piece wing, and now try to, it's not user-friendly. It gets the job done, but it's not user-friendly, and it's not, I don't think it's light, especially super light on the tail either, because when you start to add all those plates of plywood and screws to hold the elevator and stuff like that, and then you have another screw to hold the tail in place, and it adds up so much complexity to the system. Yeah, I mean, there are 100 ways of doing it.
I didn't find it that hard.
That I have one of his planes, the Rojet 90 plane, the Novanta. When he built that airplane, it was take apart. It was 60 ounces, brand new, finished, with a 90 in it.
Wow.
It's pretty light.
Yeah. But the other thing is, to make stuff easier now, they have ball links with a spring and a thing, and you pull and you can take the ball link off.
Let Len talk about Wendy's airplane for a minute, since he actually has it. Let's hear Len's thoughts. I'd like to anyway.
I actually have that one of Samantha's too, Mike. I actually have
I know.
I actually have it. And I know about the removable ball links and stuff like that.
No, I understand, but try and talk for a long time about his methods of take apart. And, you know, Wendy's name was brought up. Len actually has Wendy's airplane. So let's hear Len's thoughts on Wendy's.
Unfortunately, I think we lost Len.
Oh.
Yeah, he's gone.
We lost.
Yeah, he has
Right
that
after he
Canadian
made his
connection.
comment, I think he popped off.
Yeah, he disappeared.
No, he might have got knocked off because he's been on a couple times already. I've allowed him in like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, he's got bad interwebs up there.
He's just getting knocked off. It's not. It wasn't. I don't think he did it himself.
But yeah, I mean, you know, the thing with the ball links, I have non-bolt and stuff like that. You don't have to do that anymore. They make a spring release ball link. You just pull it back, and it comes off.
Yeah.
You know.
I think Tryon is probably. I was just listening while I was doing dishes in there. I think Tryon's on the cutting edge of a lot of this stuff.
Absolutely.
There's been a lot of take apart models over the years. Okay, but
Here
I mean,
comes that win again.
the big deal is it's got to fit. If you're going to build a real take apart, why are you building one? Because it's got to go on an airplane.
Yeah.
That's unless you're, you know, a one-piece wing to fit in your car to go to a contest. That's one thing, but you know, the future of take-apart models is they fit into a case that's TSA approved that you can take somewhere. And there's been other, you know, Dave's Thundergazer and other guys who have built take-apart. Steve, you built a take-apart to take to a world championship. But how many years ago was that versus what I think Tryon is taking the best of everything that he's seen and using the most modern materials and construction techniques to just improve on everything he's already seen that's been out there. And, you know, aerodynamically, you can talk about that, about airfoils and moments, but the hardware and the techniques to make them lighter and more user friendly. I think it's great.
Well, what I like about Tryon stuff is that he basically has no loose pieces, and he has everything is like is one simple tool and everything like that. There's you know, Mike, everything you're saying, you know, I put in capital letters. I mean, it's absolutely the best system. What he already has is the best system, and what he just showed us tonight could be, you know, like another half a step further, you know,
even better.
I agree with that too, but you got to be able to do it.
I agree with what you're saying, Steve. I agree with what you said about you got to be able to do it. You got to have access to the tooling and the machines and the stuff to do it. And man, it'd be great, you know, if Tryon opened a store. It would be awesome.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. You know, give me a store where I can go buy a wing set or a landing gear set or you know, I've been trying to figure out how to take some of these glass fuselages my brother and my nephew made, and I'm trying to figure out how to cut them in half so I can make a removable nose to get that battery, because it's a hell of a lot better idea than any of the alternatives.
You know, I worked in a lot of machine shops where we had to keep their computer stuff cool and stuff like this. And I asked this guy about making different parts, but he wanted to make 1,000 of them. Or he didn't want to do it. And I mean,
okay. We'll have enough for life.
Yeah, I guess that. And
what's the problem with that?
Like, you couldn't sell them, and you're sitting on damn $5,000 worth of stuff, and then you know
that's true.
So somebody else comes up with an idea that's a little bit cheaper or whatever, and now you never sell them.
Yeah, that's it. You're sitting on yesterday's idea. There 499 pieces of yesterday's idea.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what the history of take-apart models are, if they've been around for 20 years, or Len, real briefly, when was Wendy's take-apart built? Just give me a year.
His first one.
Just any of them. I mean,
Okay, well, the one I have was built in 2007, but he started building. He started building take aparts the year after he built the. Hang on now, it'll come to me. The I-beam Spitfire. Now he built that in '99, so his first take apart was in 2000.
Miss Ashley, right?
2000, 21 years ago. We're talking 21 years ago. And imagine when did Dave Fitzgerald build his Thunder Gazer take apart?
About the same time.
About the same time. So imagine just the leaps and bounds in 21 years of that. And where we're at now, and I don't see anybody doing what Trian is doing or anything even close.
Nobody's done. Nobody's done.
Imagine what we have in 5 years from now. What's going to come up?
Let's
But
go
I
back
think
for sure.
that take apart technology has really, since the Shark came out, you know, the Yatsenkos, they were one of the first ones to mass produce a model that you could buy, take apart, ready to fly. And there's a couple other Eastern European companies. I think two other companies making take apart models. But
our guys have them.
Trian's the guy in the United States who has innovated this stuff and made it conclusively for control line. I mean, adapted specifically for control line. It's not some RC technology moved over to control line. Pre-flight. He has thought outside the box all the way on all this, and he's the smartest guy in the room right now, as far as I'm concerned, man.
You know,
all right, let's hang on, Steve. Hang on. Sorry, John. Go ahead, John. John Miller, go ahead.
I was going to take it back a little further, Mike. Removable wings have been around since the 80s.
Yeah.
I built my first one in '93, and that was not a take apart, break in half wing. That was a solid. We were just copying the guys and the RC guys. And so you can see right there from '93 when I did it, and I was doing it after other people had done it. '93, because early 2000, 20,000.
91.
You know, the difference there. We got plug-in wings. We got the bolt going through into the magnesium or aluminum. You know, with the bell crate mount all ready set up in there. And now we've got two trans.
Right.
Yeah, it's come a long way.
I did plug-in wings in the 80s.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I mean, in the 80s, I was doing plug-in wings and stuff.
Yeah, but they weren't
For
designed.
RC though, right?
They weren't designed in. I'm sure Trian is using CAD and all kinds of crazy computer-generated stuff to design this stuff, proof of concept before he ever cuts it, mills it, makes it, lays it up in a mold. I mean, it just the technology that he's using to do this stuff. It's NASA stuff, man. It's like cutting edge stuff,
Yeah,
man.
I think the another technology that we're going to start really seeing is, frankly, it's more and more 3D printed stuff.
Yeah,
you know, it's good for low volume stuff like modeling. It can be done in just about any kind of material, including metals. You know, if you got that much money to spend on it, and it can be customized. You know, it's easily customized for different applications and stuff like that. I think we're going to be seeing more of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But still, those basic building blocks, those pins, the cam lock fasteners, or the IKEA fasteners, as you call them, and stuff like that.
Cam locks,
I'd love to be able to use those. I'd love to be able to get my hands on some of those, because I built a Magnum, a SIG Magnum for my dad with a plug-in wing. Slid over a 3/4 inch aluminum tube with a couple of bolts through the tube, the bell crank through the tube. Is there an echo in here? Right? It's not like that we were just talking about.
Right.
I did all of that for my dad, and the system worked very well. And it was, by comparison to what Trian has, it was laughable.
It was Stone Age.
It worked. That part's good. But it's
just a little archaic.
Handling all the loose parts and stuff like that was a pain.
Well, I think where Tryon has a leg up, and he's very in tune with the Senkos and the other stuff. Is it's all repeatable.
Yeah,
it's interchangeable. It's plug and play. It's repeatable. It's not a one of built by a guy who's in there hogging stuff out or making stuff fit. Everything, I'm sure, just goes together like a jigsaw puzzle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the best way, but it's like you got to do it. But what I would do if I was going to go build an airplane and have it take apart, you got to have the tail come off, a single wing. You put the wing in one box, like for golf clubs, and I already tested it; it'll fit. Put that in there. You put the fuse in another one, and you pay an extra $150 to fly it to Europe.
I think Charles is trying to break in here, guys.
Yeah, real quick, I just want to make a couple of comments. One about the chat box, and that's Jeff Riley said a while ago, sounds like a PhD from University of IKEA is necessary.
Very good.
And we're getting very close to the after party. And so I want to just kind of recap. We have, I think we've had as many as, looks like 21 viewers outside of this room here. And we have 16 likes or 16 thumbs up. So if you're still with us, please, if you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up. I think this has been, a continuation of really good shows. We've had great information. Can't find anywhere else. So please support us. Show us some love in the chat box. I know we have some consistent donors like Gerald Wimmer and Al Friero, and I think I'm going to remiss Craig. Craig has donated. I know there are others, but please, other ones, please step up. And if you are watching this as a replay, obviously you can't donate in the super chat. Consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, and then make a note. We do this every Monday and Friday, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So make a note, come in and watch the live program, and then maybe do it with intention to donate. We need that. Everywhere you go, you need to make a donation or help support something you love. And so it's something I think we're not asking too much, but please do it. Just put something in there. Anyways, Mike would like to speak, and hang on, let me finish. I wanted to say,
Lenos,
I didn't say it already. I think
That's okay. I'm good.
Casminato might have had some ticket parts that were probably pretty good in his time because of necessity. Him coming from Japan, he probably was doing it, even before the 80s.
He actually lived in the United States though back in the 80s.
Okay, all right.
And clear up to up into just before the 90s.
All right. Well, hang on, John. Let me wrap up. And then, Mike, did you want to say something before I go to the after party, or
I do, because I got something the viewers might be interested in.
Okay, go ahead, Mike.
And you guys might too. Now, this probably doesn't apply to a lot of stunt guys, but us combat guys, when we have 10, 12, 14 of the same engines for the same class, when we get a bad runner. So typically what we do, we have so many of these and we run them all year long. When we get one that's got low compression or it just won't start when it's hot, or after you run it, it feels like nothing. So we pull them off, throw them in a bag with a little tag on them that says what's wrong with them. And then at the end of the year or beginning of the year, you pull the motor out. And this one had a tag in it that says low compression, needs piston and liner. This is where buying parts in bulk comes in really handy. RC Japan, right? Piston and liner, connecting rod, and piston pin. I buy this stuff in bulk. I like to keep a big supply on hand. At any time I've got 6 or 8 piston and liners and connecting rods and piston pins. So when I get a bad motor during the summer, it just comes off the airplane and goes in a bag. And then in the spring, you pull it out and you got your your parts.
Parts.
You just
Cool.
You just go into your box, get the parts you need, and I'm gonna repair this motor tonight. Put a new piston and liner in it, new connecting rod and piston pin, and it's good to go.
That was RC Japan. RC Japan, right?
Yeah, RC Japan. Well, for OS parts. I mean, it's not always economical to do it for every engine yet. Like I said, this really doesn't apply to stunt, but in combat, we run the 40s and the 25s. So I always keep a large supply of part on hand for the 25s and the 40s. And if we get one or two that get sour during the year, we just throw them in a box, take them off, put them in a bag, label what's wrong with it. And then springtime, you pull them out, refurbish them, and it'll be a brand new motor next time we put it on.
All right.
So
Hey, you guys, we've been on for 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I'm afraid that we don't end the show pretty soon. We're not going to have people watch it, the replay.
How about a calendar preview?
Can we do it in the after party? Is that
Okay.
All right. It's getting long. Anyways,
All right.
we're getting long in the tooth. And hey, thank you for everybody for showing up. And here comes Walter Umlin. Anyways, come back with us. We'll be back. Today's Monday, so Friday night. Come on back. Same bat time, same bat channel, and hopefully we'll have another good show. And we'll see you then. All right. So we're gonna say, see ya.